do my traditional hand rub here. Starting a new book, which I'm excited about. St. Paul's Masterpiece. A great discourse on faith, on grace, on the righteousness of God. The letter to the Romans. Okay, so I'll try it again. It's a daily mass, so I don't want this homily to be too long. So there's a lot in here, which I will hopefully bring out if you have not already caught on when you listen to the first reading of a lot of important things here that Paul wants to say. So we are at the beginning, which traditionally, first of all, this really no dispute. This is a letter by Paul. Now, at the end of the letter, he tells us that there's some guy, I forget his name, it starts with a T, some Greek name, who actually handwrit the letter. But there's no doubt that either St. Paul's telling him what to write down, or, or at least proofreads, and goes over before sending out what this scribe writes down for him. Okay, so really no problem there. So the Romans, to the city of Rome, that's what he's writing to. St. Paul has not been to Rome. He did not find a church in Rome, unlike some of the other letters that he wrote, where he written to churches that he founded. He did not start this church. Peter didn't start this church. We don't know when this church was started, okay? Which kind of makes sense because Rome, at least in terms of the Roman Empire of that Mediterranean world, Rome was the place to be, just like, for the business, financial capital of the world, where you want to be in New York City. If you want to be in the entertainment capital of the world, you go to Los Angeles. If you want to be a big shot, you go to Rome. Okay, you go to Rome. Everything happens there. Okay, so we must have at some point, Jews, okay, kind of believe that Rome started with the Jewish Christian first and then went to, expanded to the Gentiles in the city of Rome. At some point through their travels and making it, to Rome and coming to Jerusalem for the feast and, being at other parts of the empire and then making it to Rome, that at some point the church was founded there. Okay. So St. Paul's trying to establish his credentials because he's kind of like writing like, hey, you might not know who I am. Let me tell you who I am, okay, and what I'm all about and why I'm coming to Rome. He wants to get to Rome because most likely he wants to establish a base so that he can continue his evangelization further west, as far as Spain. He wants to get to Spain, okay? We don't think he ever does, okay? And I think tradition has that St. James, one of the apostles, this does make it over to Spain, but St. Paul doesn't get there. Okay, he's martyred in Rome, and never makes it to Rome. So he's writing to introduce himself, and also to maybe help settle a problem that they're having. Okay, one of the issues that they're having, and it kind of comes out nicely in today's first reading. You have these Jews, you have these Gentiles. You have these Jews who make the claim, hey, we are God's special chosen people. We have an elite status within the Christian community. Okay, that's the Jews. The Gentiles are saying, hey, look, you guys had your opportunity, you blew it, and now we, okay, are the special ones. All right. So you have two groups of people kind of claiming elite status. One because of the tradition of Abraham and God's fulfillment through them, and then another's who's like, well, yeah, but you guys kind of rejected them, and now the gospel comes to us. So here's how St. Paul begins here. So here's some of the themes that are going to come out. I am not ashamed of the gospel. It is the power of God for the salvation of everyone who believes. Okay, everyone who believes. Okay, faith. All right. For Jews first, and then Greek. For it is written, the righteousness of God from faith to faith, as it is written, the one who is righteous by faith will live. Okay, so right here, St. Paul, in an introduction, as he likes to do in his letters, give an introduction of what he's going to talk about throughout the whole letter. All right, doesn't matter if you're Jew, doesn't matter if you're Greek. All right, righteousness is by faith. God comes to the Jews first, but then the message is also open to the Greeks. And it's not by ethnicity, it's not by the laws, not by circumcision, but it's going to be faith in Jesus Christ. And it's going to show the righteousness of God, who is faithful to the covenants that he established with Abraham and Moses and David. But remember, we should remember, hopefully, that one of the promises in the covenants to Abraham was what? A worldwide blessing. All right, very important. All right, worldwide blessing. This second part, this is the second half. Okay, yesterday we would have had the first half of this introduction. In the second half, St. Paul's kind of picking on the Gentiles a little bit. All right, magnifying their conscience. Okay, how so? Well, remember, the Gentiles are like, well, hey, you Jews, you rejected Jesus. You crucified him. That type of mentality. That's what the Greeks were saying. And St. Paul is like, well, just hold on a second. Okay, to the Gentiles. St. Paul says, as a result, they have no excuse. That is the Gentiles. For although they knew God, they did not accord him glory as God or give him thanks. Okay. Ever since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes of eternal power and divinity have been able to understood and perceived in what he has made. So what St. Paul is saying, a very, again, ancient teaching that we have to know, that we can come to know the one true God through creation. Meaning that through the created things we can come, if our minds are enlightened, we're not darkened by our pride and ignorance, that even non-Jews can come to know God through what? The natural light of reason. Okay, through creation. So in a way, St. Paul's saying, hey, Gentiles, you, in a way, you also rejected him too. Okay, you saw the signs. And remember, it was the Romans, the soldiers, who crucified Jesus. So St. Paul's kind of sharing the blame, so to speak. That's what's happening here. Okay, we have all sinned. We have all exchanged the glory of God for likenesses of mortal man or birds. I love that line. Or four-legged animals are exchanged. We exchanged the glory of God. We exchanged the covenant relationship for something much less. Jews, Gentiles, and people like us here in 2021. From Father Miller to maybe you. We exchanged the glory of God. We exchanged the relationship for something much less. Okay? But we need the righteousness of God, who is still going to be faithful to covenant, who's still in the Eucharist. This is my blood, the blood of the new and eternal covenant, which we shed for you and for all, for what? For the forgiveness of sins. Why? Because God, though we have sinned, God is faithful to his covenant. And it's his righteousness. And we become righteous when we accept and believe together in the righteousness of God himself. May God bless you.